extends up to but not including 18,000 feet MSL and can overlie other airspace. This means that you can be above Class C and D airspace and still be in Class E airspace. Correct VFR altitudes must be maintained in Class E when above 3,000 feet AGL. Class E airspace can start at either 1,200 feet or 700 feet AGL at an airport where a transition starts. This is depicted on sectional charts by a magenta line around the airport where the transition takes place. There are no specific entry requirements for Class E except that when you are above 10,000 feet MSL, you must have an operating transponder. As Class E airspace is usually not very crowded, student pilots can operate in Class E without any additional authorization except for their solo endorsement. On this slide, you can see that the Class E airspace is almost everywhere the other airspace is not. It is the most common airspace in the U.S. airspace system. Class E airspace starts at either 1,200 feet AGL or at 700 feet AGL unless it's charted in a different way. If you see nothing on the chart that would indicate Class G at an unusual altitude, then you can assume that Class E starts at 1,200 feet AGL. In this example, look at the arrow pointing to the number 1. Let's assume the airplane to be at 3,000 feet. The airplane would be in Class Echo airspace. This is because Class E airspace starts at 1,200 feet AGL here. In the arrow with the number 2, you can see that this point is within an area that is surrounded by a magenta border that is feathered. This means that Class E airspace starts at 700 feet AGL. So from the surface to 700 feet AGL, the aircraft would be in Class G airspace. From 700 to 17,999 MSL, it would be in Class E airspace. In the arrow pointing to number 3, you can see a zippered line with a number in it. This means that the Class E airspace starts at the altitude indicated in this area. In this case, Class E airspace starts at 14,500 feet MSL. Below that, the airspace is Class G. In the last example, you can see the arrow pointing to number 4, and you can see a dashed magenta line around an airport. In this case, it is the Visalia Airport located in the San Joaquin Valley in California. This dashed magenta line means that Class E airspace starts from the surface and goes up to 17,999 feet MSL. So any altitude you could be at over this airport below 18,000 feet MSL means you are in Class E airspace. The identification of Class E and Class G airspace on charts is one of the more difficult things to understand about airspace. During your flight training, your flight instructor will give you additional instruction about Class G and E in your area. This chart shows the entry requirements for all of the airspace. These were mentioned as we presented the airspace types, but it helps to see everything consolidated into a table. In order to apply the rules about airspace, you will initially have to memorize the entry requirements, the cloud clearances, flight visibilities, and how the airspace types are depicted on a chart. On this image, you can see the table that consolidates the cloud clearances and flight visibility requirements for all classes of airspace. This table was combined with the entry requirements table. As we have seen, controlled airspace promotes safety by shaping the flow of aircraft. It gives order to the ATC system and aids pilots and controllers in making a safe flight possible.